Okay, let's get this going. A few things to go over. This is part 2. Stalingrad campaign, Soviet squad, part 2. I think most people know how to spray paint. But if you don't, keep it about 6 to 8 inches away from the model. Don't hit the button while you're on the model, and keep the can moving. I actually heated this. You can use any spray. I just use this. I mean, it could be anything. I like the Armory. I think that was the white and the black, but I don't think they're available anymore. They're a lot cheaper than this. But this seems to not mess up at any time. The only thing about spray painting, I think, is the key is the humidity. It's not necessarily the temperature. But I did warm this up in front of a heater fan, so it should be good, and I've shaken it. Now, the question of, we know how to spray, but if you heard of zenithal highlighting, I think it is applicable in this 172 scale. However, I would use a airbrush. And I actually have an airbrush, but I hardly ever use it because it's not practical, because I only do like 5-10 guys at a time, or a little tiny little model. I just haven't found a quite use, and I wouldn't do a whole bunch of pre-primed and leave it all there and then get it all out and do it all at once. I just don't work that way. If anybody in the comments can give me a suggestion, because I want to do zenithal priming. I actually did for a squad in this scale, and it did seem to maybe work, but it was 2 layers of rattle can, and it was too thick. So I think with airbrush you get real thin, and I'm going to try that soon. So we'll see how that works. If you don't know what that is, that's like simulating the light coming straight down. So for this, I would spray paint black all over the model, and then when I spray paint white or a light tan, I would go from down onto the model. I think it does have application. The question is, I don't think you can do it in rattle can because it's too thick. Let's go ahead and get these painted before it rains. It's kind of hard to get the bottom, so you got to move your fingers sometimes and try to get. I'd rather go light than heavy. I can always put on a little bit of brush prime. And plus, this stuff is expensive. I try to not use it very much at all. But yeah, zenithal, I think you can do it. I did it on my last squad, and it seemed to work, but you could tell it's like almost just a little bit too thick. See, the basing, got it all based on the 2 very thin plastic card. Don't forget the top, because I just forgot the top on a couple of these. You can always spray down on it. I guess I got to figure out how to hold it when you do that zenithal, because it's hard to get the bottom. Do you need to do it before you base? Is that it? Maybe that's it. I wonder if you could do black into like a brush. Yeah, we're getting some spotting here. I don't think it likes the moisture out here. Plus, I haven't been shaking it in between like I usually do. Paying attention to what I'm saying, not what I'm doing. Focus. Focus on the project here. And I notice, if you notice, I cut it down to 7. I'm not doing 4 of that lame sergeant. I don't like the sculpt of that figure, so I'm just going to do 1. So that brings it down to just 7, I think. Yeah. I usually hit a little bit on top, because I want that helmet to be nice and good. Okay, there's part 2, spray painting. The key is to heat up your thing. If it's a little cool, definitely shake it at least 5 to 10 minutes. Kind of depends on the atmosphere, but the humidity, I think, is what gets you the most. It's probably 60, 63 here, 65, maybe 50, late 58, 58, 64, somewhere in there. I don't know. It's fall. I put it in front of the heater, get it heated up, and it works fine. I think when people have a problem, it's they don't shake it or don't warm the can, or try to do it when it's raining or the humidity, high humidity, like summertime, high humidity, stuff like that. So we'll go ahead, and that's the basic priming your model. It could be white or black. I always use white or tan. You'll see when we do our technique of the actual painting why I use that. I think black would be very hard to build up. You just don't got that much room on a 172. Okay, so we'll call it. I think I got it all. Coops Troops out!